Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave. Today we will learn and discuss on mantra number 14 of Kaivalya Upanishad. Punasya janmantara karma yogat Punashchak janmantara karma yogat Sa eva jivasvapiti prabuddhaha Sa eva jivasvapiti prabuddhaha Puratraye क्रीडति यश्च जीवः पुरत्रये क्रीडति यश्च जीवः ततस्तु जातं सकलं विचित्रम् ततस्तु जातं सकलं विचित्रम् आधारमानन्दमखण्डबोधम् आधारमानन्दमखण्डबोधम् यस्मिल्लयं याति पुरत्रयं च यस्मिल्लयं याति पुरत्रयं च Together. पुनश्च जन्मान्तरकर्मयोगात् स एव जीवस्वपिति प्रबुद्धः पुरत्रये क्रीडति यश्च जीवः ततस्तु जातं सकलं विचित्रम् आधारमानन्दमखण्डबोधम् यस्मिल्लयं याति पुरत्रयं च पुनः again cha and janmantara karma yogat due to the association with deeds done with other lives janmantara karma yogat due to the association with the deeds karma yogat when done in other lives janmantara saha he eva alone jivaha the individual self swapiti dreams prabuddha awakened puratraye pura means puri means nagari means city. How many? Puratraye traye in 3 cities. Kridati plays yaha who cha means and jivaha individual self tataha from him tu means verily jatam born sakalam all vichitram means varied adharam adharam means the substratum anandam bliss akhanda bodham bodh means consciousness bodh means consciousness jnanam means knowledge bodham means consciousness chaitanya and that is akhanda unbroken Yasmin, in whom, layam, dissolution, yati, goes, puratrayam, three cities, cha, means and. So what is the translation of the sloka? Again, due to its connection with the deeds done in the previous birth, that very same individuality or jiva comes back to the dream or the awakening state. The being who sports thus in three cities, from whom verily have sprung up all diversities, he is the substratum, the indivisible bliss consciousness, and in him alone the three cities go back into dissolution. Why this human birth? Who are the trees, dogs, cows, goats, rabbits? Everyone is jiva. Everyone. Because of the past lives, karma, as a result of past life karma, we get this life. Our past karma only determines that who will be, means what form I will be, in what form I will be born. I will be born in the form of rabbit or butterfly or dog or human being. If dog also, the dog of the house of Biden or the dog of the street, everything is determined by our past karma. I will be born in Shankaracharya's house or in a non-believer's house. So this life is nothing but the result of our past karma. So if my sufferings and everything else is the result of our past karma, so if we do the good karmas prescribed by the shastras, then definitely we will get the good lives, because it is the promise of the shastras, scriptures. Here, three cities means three state of consciousness. Three states of consciousness means awakening state, dream state, and deep sleep state. In waking state, we experience the gross world. In dream state, we enjoy the dream world, and both appear to us as real. And then when the waking state, the dissolution of waking state means dream state. The dissolution of dream state means deep sleep state. And dissolution of deep sleep state is again waking state or dream state. Now the question is, when I am sleeping, who calls me? Not the mobile alarm, not the outside knocking from anyone else. Have you ever thought that who calls me? If nothing is there, then also I will not sleep for 24 hours. Our vasanas, our karma, that vasanas are also karma phala. That the pressure of vasanas call me up. So after having slept and temporarily enjoyed the reviving pause from the agitations and sorrows of the waking and dream, the individuality does not once forever get extinct, but is revived again to play its part either as a waker or as a dreamer. This is our experience. But why should it emerge out? Why this painful resurrection again? Why Punarjanma? Thought process should be changed, through its contact with the deeds done in its previous birth. Janmantara karma yoga. What makes the sleeper wake up? This has been a question that had, as in the present, so too in the past, fascinated all students of the subjective science. The final declaration of the great masters is that it is because of the impressions and tendencies, means vasanas, left over by thoughts entertained and actions done by the individual in his past. That is why kabhi kabhi kya hota hai, the father is a saintly person, but the son is having so many shortcomings and wretchedness. Or sometimes the son of a thievery person, mischievous person, but the son is really saintly. So it determines that each and every individual is born because of their karma phala. Where they will born, how they will born, in which form they will born, and what type of action. Now, then the question comes, then where is our role? Our role is how we will perform. How we will perform, that is the biggest thing. Sushmita Amma is calling. Why? Oh, she could not connect. So the thing is, the truth of this statement can be demonstrated by a familiar happening in the life of every one of us. Sleep is always disturbed when the sleeping person has an expectation of something to happen in the early hours of the following day. The expectation leaves a disturbing tendency in his mind, which forces him to wake up at short intervals from his sleep. The tendencies so preserved in the mind become active and throw up the lava of thoughts, and they scorch in their devastating flow the cool peace of sleep. These thoughts push out into the waking world of activities. Similarly, the vasanas acquired by us in the past will force us to come out of our restful slumber to the fields of life to gather the harvest of our allotted experiences. So what does it mean by sa eva jiva? The very same individuality. What is that? Suppose, just a minute. For the exhaustion of which we have taken up this physical manifestation and have presented ourselves in our respective fields of activities. This is called the past. Now, sa eva jiva, the individuality in me that experiences the waking world itself, is the entity that on becoming a dreamer dreamed its dreams, and it is again the same individuality that comes to live the peace of its slumber in deep sleep. In short, the waker, the dreamer, and the deep sleeper are the three states of one and the same entity. And it is the same entity who again wakes up from sleep and becomes the waker to continue helplessly the life of yesterday's waker. The individuality remaining the same, it thus harvests from the three fields. The thing is, in what karma phalam we get. Sometimes in dream, we get or we see, we may see, not for everyone else, someone may see some non-conducive dream, which is not conducive for this sadhaka life, or where there is injustice, maybe there, done by the individuality. Because you know what is swapna? In Tattva Bodha and Atma Bodha, we have elaborately discussed about it. That it is the thing that what we think on our waking state, waking life, and think of it, the same thing comes into the dream. But it may happen that today or last night, what I dreamed, that I did not think or entertain that sort of thought in my waking state yesterday. It may be. Yes. Sometimes what we dream that we never thought in the whole life in waking state. So scriptures say that it's in our past life what we did, what we thought, the same thought comes in the dream. Then how much the luggage of my karma phala I will carry, because the karma phala of my waking state and the karma phala of my dream state. So God has exempted from that. That the karma phala of dream will not be fructified again. And in Bhagavatam, it is told that in Kali Yuga, mental sin is not a sin at all. The same word was repeated by Holy Mother Sri Sri Sarada Devi, Olite moner pap papna. But it is actually from Bhagavatam, where Brahmaji is teaching that in Kali Yuga, the all sorts of mental sin, sometimes we can't take steps, though we are upset in mind. Sometimes we are angry. Sometimes we think that if I twist his ears, but we can't do that. So, so Shastra is telling that mental sin are not included into the sin. So Shastra is telling, okay. So the same individualized ego returns to the dream of the waking state, swapiti prabuddha, the happy combination, the happy combination